Happy Halloween. Now, if you think this is the last episode of The Gathering, you are gravely mistaken. We still got one more left, but in the meantime, let's take a look at one of my top 5 favorite statues in my collection, HMO's Darkstalkers Morrigan. Stay tuned.
Just before you left, I said, nobody ever goes in, and nobody ever comes out.
Alright guys, so welcome back. Now, HMO Morrigan. I've had these two statues for quite a while. Now, the reason why I never decided to do a review on them earlier than now for 2 reasons. One, the obvious, I was saving them for The Gathering. Now, you may be wondering, yeah, I had them last year. Why didn't I do it last year? One simple reason. Here's the other reason. Reason being is because they're just me, but I hate the term, I hate the expression of it's a grail piece. Nah, fuck that bullshit. These are statues, I like them. I don't give a fuck if they're considered a grail piece or not. I get them because these are the characters, these are the designs, these are the sculpts that I love. Pretty sure you can tell by now that, yes, I am a huge Darkstalkers fan. But, you know, I got these statues because of that, not because they're a grail piece or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I just want to say that off the bat. I collected these because I sincerely love this character. And before I continue, I just want to let you know that even if you're looking to get these statues, there are tons of Morrigan statues. There's a lot of Morrigan statues that I've seen that I'm like, those are freaking badass. And had I not had these, I would consider getting one of them. One that I'm seriously considering getting, both of them actually, obviously you know that I love variants, right? Is the PCS Morrigan statues. Now with those, there's 2 big reasons why I'm considering getting those. One, because it's a 1/3 scale. Off the top of my head, guys, I don't think there's any other Morrigan statues that are 1/3. All the other ones, even though they're badass, they're all 1/4. So the fact that it's a 1/3 scale, yeah, that's gonna be pretty badass, pretty impressive. Second reason, you know, you can design Morrigan in every which way, but what's a seller to any statue, especially a female statue? The portraits. I gotta say, guys, that portrait on the PCS one, yeah, it's pretty badass. When I saw it, I was like, sculpt looks badass, the base looks badass. And yeah, honestly, it'd be a no-brainer if I did not have these. I would definitely get those, but since I have these, I'm still on the fence on whether I'm going to get them or not. And as you can tell, I am completely satisfied with these 2. And the question can be asked, do I feel that they are the best? Right off the top of my head, without any kind of serious thinking, I'd probably have to say yes. For multiple reasons. One, just look at it. But that's what the review's for. Let me tell you why I think these Morrigan statues from all Morrigan statues available right now are the best. Alright, as always, let's start off with the base. The base alone is what makes this statue one of the most unique statues there is. Yes, we can see it's a very, very rocky base, and in Morrigan's stage, the floor that she's on, it is a very rocky looking stage. Stones, pebbles, things like that. But what really stands out on this base is that when you angle it just right front and center, the base actually forms a skull. Now obviously that was an awesome idea and they pulled it off very, very well. But when you rotate the statue, look at it, look at the base, check it out. It's just like a stone fixture. Now with the way Morrigan is posed here, it's kind of hard, which is why when I've had these statues, as long as I've always had one posed straight forward and another one posed kind of at a side angle like this. Reason being, I really want the emphasis to show the base, the skull, and on the other one, that kind of side profile, kind of twisting body movement that she has to really capture her. Because yes, as you can see, this one is looking forward, this one's kind of at a side angle, and it's very hard to decide how are you going to display them. But that's just one of the benefits of having 2 of them. You can display them either way, one way and the other one the other. But going out to the base, I will say this. This is my only gripe, which isn't a major one. These freaking bats, holy crap. One of the biggest reasons why Morrigan has been out in my display for so long is because I remember when I unboxed this, I saw all the bats and I was like, where the heck do all these freaking bats go? It was a bitch trying to figure out where they all go, because we have little pegs on one on her wing. Obviously we can see that one flying. One actually sits on another bat, other one's on the base. But it's kind of hard which ones actually sit where, because, for example, look at the two in the back. Obviously we can see the difference, but they are very similar. It's kind of hard to decide, okay, whoa, which one goes where? And on top of that, the pegs to put into the base, they're not all that sturdy. They're kind of real flimsy. I mean, you can see that I'm turning it and it's, you know, they're staying there, whatever, but let me give you an example. Like, I don't know, let's take this one, for example. See how he's kind of moving around? I don't know if you can see that. That one, or maybe this one over here. Yeah, so you can see it's not really all that sturdy. It's gonna hold. That's my only gripe about this statue. And the paint job on the base, it's stone, it's rock, so there's a lot of grays, different color variations of the gray. But there's also very subtle greens in the back of the base to show, I'm guessing, moss and things of that nature. The bats themselves, yes, they do look realistic. They're all brown, different shades of browns, blacks, things like that. Give them that more realistic look, and yes, the inside of their wings, you know, they have the veins, they have that texture. The paint's done very well to show the different colors within the bat, you know, to give that more realistic look. Now, the Player 1 version of Morrigan, her leggings are actually a purple on the statue. Now, I do see a lot of Morrigan statues that do have purple leggings. Now, if you actually take a look at her color in the original Darkstalkers game, they're not purple. They're kind of more of like a dark, lightish, pinkish color. But a lot of statues have her in this purple, which I don't mind. I mean, I really love how the purple looks with her. And the fact that they did the purple on her, yeah, I can appreciate that. And it looks very well done. This is a Player 2. Obviously, we have the red and the blue. Now, in case you don't know, this is actually the color set for her counterpart, Lilith. There's a whole backstory about Lilith, but you can go ahead and check that on your own. I'm not gonna really explain that. But just know that it's a part of her that has been separated from her. But on the Player 2, yes, we can see as she has the red boots, the red corset, and the blue leggings. Now, on the boots and the corset, it has that leather material, leather look. Now, the paint job on that, the red parts of it, which is the corset and the boots, is done like that. It showed different color variations to show that black, the folds, the different shadows and shades of the red, give it that more realistic look as far as what boots would actually look like, or I should say leather boots. And it's the same thing for the Player 1 here. We have the black and purple, same design. The black is pretty much just a solid black. That's the only difference with the Player 1 and the Player 2, because this one is actually a color red. This one, she's black. We just see, well, what I'm noticing is that the black on her corset is pretty much just a solid black. Highly detailed, highly textured though. So it's not just flat and plain, nothing to it. Her boots are the same way, and they're kind of a solid black, but tons of texture work to really make them look realistic. And I think that's well done, because when you do have black, and as long as you have that detail, that texture work done to a T, it'll naturally reflect that light and shadows, etc. And it looks real. Now, the wings are a different material. Best I can guess, it is some type of plastic. I don't know if we can hear that or not. But yes, it's not polystone, it is plastic, which I think was a great idea, because with these things flaring out, you know, being kind of thin, I think it would have been very highly susceptible to breakage. So I'm glad that they did these plastic. Side note, the bats too are also plastic. But the colors used on the Player 2 are red wings, and the one on the Player 1 are black wings. So I don't know if this is a byproduct of the design of the wings, but when you shine light on them, yes, it subtly comes through. Just like if you were to shine light through a real bat's wings, you could see kind of like that light behind the wings. Same thing here. Now we can see how the paint and the texture work really stands out in the Player 2 here. Just for the fact that it is color, like I said, red. It looks like a red weathered leather look. As we can see in the back, the wings are not just a solid red. We do see subtle shades of blacks, darker reds, etc. They do have that texture work. A lot of those wrinkles really give that sense of realistic leather, but as we know, they're that, I guess, leather of a bat wing, if you want to call it that. And then right at the tips of the wings, and it's for both of them, we have these little spikes, these little, I guess, little horns, if you want to call them. The player one is exactly the same. The only difference is that with the black, yes, the back of the black wings are pretty much the solid color of black. But again, like I said, it's that texture work that really brings them to life. Now the inside of the wings is where both of these statues really stand out. The player 2 here, we can see the inside is kind of like a bluish greenish color. Same thing as the back, you know, the colors are different color shades of lighters, darkers, you know, just depends on where it is, you know, where it needs to be. And of course it has that same texture work on the outside of the wings. Now the player 1 here, it's a purple look inside those wings. And it's the exact same thing with the color variations of the purple being darker where they need to be, lighter where they need to be, and tons of texture work here. On a quick side note, I feel that when making a design for Morrigan, one of the most difficult tasks for the sculptor is how is he going to place the wings. I compare it to somebody trying to cosplay her. Yes, it's going to look awesome, but when you're trying to cosplay in a crowded arena, crowded scene, how are you going to deal with the wings? Like really, like, do you want your wings flying out, banging to everybody, hitting things, kind of being a nuisance, not really worth it, being annoying? Or do you want to just kind of hide them, which kind of kills the look of the character? I think it's the same thing when designing a sculpt for Morrigan. Because she has wings, obviously you can put them and design them in any way you want, but if you were to flay them out way too much, it would take up too much space. Flay them out not enough, it wouldn't really display that wingspan, that she has wings, which is what you really want to show and emphasize this character on. Like I said, this statue is posable, not only looks good facing forward, but even facing to the side. And it's because of those wings. Those wings really bring this statue to life. And if they weren't designed the way they were, it would not have the same effect. Now moving up to our corset and our outfit, the arm pieces right here, we can see they're supposed to be kind of like this stretchable feather kind of material. Now these are mixed media, that's completely sculpted. And it's very simplistic, but very well done at the same time. And they lead up to our armband. Obviously with the player 2, they are purple. And the player 1, kind of funny, they're that pinkish color that I was mentioning how her leggings look in the original game. And her fingernails are painted as well with the same color as the armband on each one. The flesh tones on Morrigan, obviously both of them are the same. There's no variation to either one, but there's very slight shading and color variations in her flesh tone, which is fine. It works well. It's not bothersome at all, and it fits the character very well. And just like the wings on her body, the wings on her head are exactly the same. On the back, in the inside, you know, they're just miniature versions of the larger wings right here. The hair on both of them is very stunning. Obviously one is pink and one's, I don't want to say green, but it's kind of like an emerald green. Both of the hair have very highly designed scopes. We can see all the strands, and I just love how, you know, it's just flowing down. It's long hair flowing everywhere. It just shows a lot of movement. Looking at it straight forward, you can see the movement. Okay, but then when you look at it from the side, it really shows that movement outward, which is again why I think this is an awesome design, because not only does it look good one way, it looks good in multiple different directions. So whether you want her face or forward or to the side, that hair is going to be flowing. And I must say that her portrait is probably the highlight of the statue. In most statues, the eyes are sculpted in and painted in, or sometimes they even put a small sticker or small decal for the eyes. With these two, they actually decided to go with a glass eye. When the light hits it just right, you can see those natural glares of the light coming off that glass, or in this case, the eyes. Now it is a small and very tiny detail, but believe me, it is the one thing that makes this statue stand out amongst other ones. And the sculpt done on the portrait of Morrigan is done where she's looking very seductive, where I feel she's trying to calm and seduce and cause her opponent to let their guard down, which makes absolute sense because Morrigan is a succubus. And there's different variations to what a succubus is, but ultimately they all suck the life force out of an individual to make themselves even stronger. Now don't get that confused with a vampire, because no, she doesn't drink blood, she drinks life forces and souls. Now here's my dilemma. Morrigan has been out on display for years. Now that I've done Felicia, I think it's time to give her a chance to show off. My debate is this. Should I put one of the Morgans away and put one of the Felicias, 1 and 1, or should I put both the Morgans away and have both Felicias out for a while? I don't know. Let me know what you think. And that's my review on Morrigan. As you can tell, it's a very special statue set to me, so that's why I did the review on her on a very special night as well. But this statue has been out for years, and the hype on Morrigan has already kind of calmed down. With that said, let me know what you guys think about the statues. Do they measure up as of today's standards? Do you consider them a grail? Whatever the hell that means. But anyways, whatever you have to say, leave your comments down below. Hit that like button if you like Morrigan, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it helps me out tremendously. And as always, folks, happy Halloween and collect what makes you happy.